Hello and welcome to this week's Digital Learning. Today we are starting to look a little bit at docs at a slightly more advanced level. I'm assuming you've used docs before, you've added text, so we're going to look at a few different features, hopefully get you adding a little bit more to it, making it a bit more interesting. So we'll see how we get on. So today, to get the document we want to use, it's in the Google Classroom. We've all created a copy for each person. So you're not going to go to just docs, you're going to go to your classroom first. So green rectangle down at the bottom here. Obviously different on different devices because you can't do this at home, of course. We're going to find the class that you're in. Hopefully you've only got one or two, but who knows, you might have loads. For me, this one today is in the second level digital. I've tried to be too clever. I've got too many classroom guys. Sounds about right as being a teacher, doesn't it? Trying to be too smart with these things. But hey, I've done it. We're now going to either click on here or go to classwork. Usually I'd recommend people go to classwork. This week it's sitting under docs, so when you go there it'll very clearly show you what you're doing today. Today we're learning how to do headers, footers, to add a watermark, to insert other illustrations, just a bit more formatting, and hopefully you can add a bit more text to this as well. And to start with, we're just going to read it to make sure it makes sense. So I'm going to come down to the bottom, I'm going to click on where it says docs, I'll explain everything here. Also go do margins, Mr. I forgot that. So then we're going to click on this, and this is a story that ChatGPT has created. So we need to make sure it actually makes sense first. Sometimes when I just read things, I don't pick up all the mistakes. There's a few mistakes in there. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to come down to the bottom. I'm going to go to accessibility, and I'm going to make sure, okay, I'm going to move myself out of the way first, change that. Come down, go to accessibility, click in the bottom right, click the little person. And for today, I'm going to make sure my dictation and my select to speak are on. Then I'm just going to come down a little bit, 2-finger drag. You know how to do that. If you're on a Chromebook, different if you're on a tablet or another device. I'm going to click this button, and I'm going to hover over these first 4 paragraphs. I'm going to let go, and it's going to start reading it to me.
Once upon a time in the peaceful county of East Lothian, there lived a fearsome dragon named Draco.
And what I'm going to ask you to do is when you notice a mistake, you change it by typing it, by using your backspace, and deleting the bits that are wrong, and you add maybe a little bit more to it. Come the end, Mr. Brown isn't too happy with the ending. I think it can be better. So when you have a spare time, I want you to change that. I want you to change it by typing, but I'd also like you to try to dictate. So we can either do that by going to tools at the top, clicking voice typing, pressing Control-Shift-S, or by coming down now that we've turned on the dictate and pressing that button. And now let's use it. So I'd like you to improve the ending. Share with me what you come up with. But we're going to first of all try and make this look like a book. So first of all I'm going to do is I'm going to use what we call page break. So I'm going to hold Control down, I'm going to press Enter, and that's going to move to a whole new page. So we now have our front cover here and everything down here. I need to come up with a name. So I'm going to think of a name before I do this, and then I'm going to go to my header. How I'm going to go to get to the header is I'm just going to double click at the top, and I'm going to call this Draco the Dangerous Dragon. I know what you're thinking, terrible name. It is a terrible name. You come up with better. Look forward to seeing what it is. So that's going to be the top of every page now. And I know what you're saying. Every page, Mr. Brown, there's only 2 pages there. Well, actually, this is a story that's going to be for younger children. So for them to be able to read it easier, I want it to be slightly bigger text. And I want you to help me add illustrations to this. So now, instead of just being over 1 page, it's over several pages. The other thing I need is a footer, and I need page numbers. So then when we're reading it, we know what page we're on. So I'm going to come down to the bottom, I'm going to double click there, and the footer comes up. Very simple. That's the little bit at the bottom. We're going to go to options, and you can see the format. We've got page numbers. We've got to remove footer. So I'm just going to click page numbers. It's going to ask where we put it, what numbers we start. So we're going to start on 1. We're not going to show on the first page because that's our title page, and we're going to click apply. And it comes down here. So we have now page numbers, headers, and that might be interesting because when you're doing more rather than a narrative piece, you might be looking to do a bit of report writing. You might have a source of information that you want to reference to, and that might go in your footer. So that's why I'm giving you that nudge just now, because this is something that you might use up the school or when you're in high school. So being able to quickly be able to do headers and footers is really good. And it is just double clicking where it goes. If you don't want to do it that way, you want to do it a more interesting way, you can go to insert at the top and you can see there that we've got headers and footers. Also there, what we're going to talk about now is a watermark. A watermark is just either an image or a text that kind of sits over the text that you've written. So because this is just draft, we're just starting here before our multi-million selling novel, and this is going to just say draft, just so that people know it whenever they read it. Oh, it's not the first copy, it's not the perfect copy, it's just a draft copy. And that should pop up, but it's not. I'm wondering if it's because the transparency is down at the bottom. So we're going to drag that up and see, is that coming up more? It's not. How strange. So like often, this is our trial and error. We're trying things out. We're seeing if it works. Let's click in front of text. There we go. That's it, worked. So let's increase that transparency now. So that's getting higher, so people can still read what we've come up with. And I'm just going to click done when I'm happy with it. So I'm going to make that even more faint. I'm going to make this blue. A little bit stylish, Mr. Brown. I know, thank you. And we're just going to click done when it's done. So now we've added our header, we've added our footer, we've done our draft. The next thing that I wanted you to do for me is to sort out the margins, because I'm not quite happy with the margins. When I print, it gets too close to the edge. So the easy way to sort our margin is it's just up here. And if we move it in and out, it either comes smaller or it comes bigger. I know what you're saying, Mr. Brown, you've just done that and it's not worked. Well, that's because we need to highlight the text first. So I'm just going to drag down, get all my text, and now if I move that in, it'll move further in for me. So I'm going to make sure that there's plenty of space on both sides, so I'm not worried about the edge. So you'll see now, because Mr. Brown was in a bit of a rush and he didn't want to waste your time, some bits are closer in, some bits are closer out, so you'll do that with all your text to make it better. Now the task really is to simply insert, make this look better, make it look more interesting. The easiest way to do this is, I would say, each section, add a bit more to it, improve the text, come to insert at the top, and just go to insert and image. And you're just going to click search the web, and I'm going to search for cartoon dragon. Footballer Christian Eriksen comes there at the top, just as I type that, just as we wait. Small talk, Mr. Brown, thank you. Back to where we were going. And we are just going to choose one that we might want, and we're just going to drag it across in the space we want it. So I've put a few enters, and I'm just going to pop it there. And you'll see that it then comes up with the picture. So hopefully you'll add a few different pictures throughout to make it more interesting to look at. You'll add a bit of text to make it better, and then you'll do your front cover. So for that, find the picture you want. So I might just take that picture again, insert, and my advice would be to probably think about trying to add some special text. Or you might just have to play about with the fonts to make it more interesting and bring text in, because something that used to be there apparently isn't there anymore. These things happen, but so make it more interesting. Come up with your front cover, make the text your own, and then make sure up here there should be an option to submit. Mine currently says share. You can share it with your class teachers so that they can have a copy, or you could submit it through the Google Classroom. I think that's all the key things from today. Might be worthwhile changing the title of the story to whatever you've came up with for your title. We can be co-authors. It can be Mr. Brown and you if you want that for the front cover, or actually give credit where credit's due. It's ChatGPT, it's not Mr. Brown, so you might want to allude it to them as well. Super. Well, best of luck, and we'll see you soon.